वीडियो ऑफ
ओके।
कर रही
ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, तूफान से ही तो लड़ने खुदा ने तुझे गढ़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। अग्नि में तप के सोना है और भी निखरता, अग्नि में तप के सोना है और भी निखरता, दुर्गम को पार करके हिमालय कोई चढ़ाए, लाएगी रंग मेहनत आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, लाएगी रंग मेहनत आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, होगा विशाल तरवर वो बीज जो पड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। वो सर्व शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, वो सर्व शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, हर काम उसके रहते हरगिज़ हुआ पड़ा है। कभी हारना ना, हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाओ, कभी हारना ना, हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाओ, हजारों कदम बढ़ाने वो सामने खड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है।
Make your bed. These are the hands
that tap your back, test the skin, hold your arm, wheel the bin, change the bulb, fix the drip, pour the jug and flick the switch. These are the hands which soothe the soul, burn the swab, give us a jab, throw out the sharps and design the lab. These are the hands which empty the pan, clamp our vein, make the cast, lock the door, and touch us, the last. They are the ones who stand between life and death and return that life with just a breath. They are the ones who make the doctors look so grand but are hardly seen from where they stand. When no one seems to give or care, you can rely on them because they would care. They are indeed angels in disguise. They are our nurses beyond price. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Forum of Breast Cancer Protection, the Nikki Uniform Cancer Care, Bliss, and Indraprastha Apollo Hospital, I welcome you all on this occasion of International Nurses Day. We have gathered here today on this virtual platform to acknowledge the immense contribution of our nurses, always and especially during these testing times of the pandemic. Of course, words aren't enough to describe their selfless empathy and silent services as a true frontline warrior during this pandemic. We will all collectively pray and meditate for the well-being of our nurses and their families under the able guidance of a very well-renowned spiritual leader, inspirational speaker, and a senior Raj Yoga teacher, our very own Brahma Kumari Sister Shivani. May I now request Dr. Ramesh Siri, Senior Surgical Oncologist and Breast Cancer Specialist at Indraprastha Apollo Hospital and Chairperson of the Forum of Breast Cancer Protection, to welcome the gathering. Ma'am.
Thank you, Sangeeta. A grateful thanks to everybody who have joined this program today. We have all collected today, to celebrate the International Nurses Day, themed this year as A Voice to Lead and Nurses Heal the World. We thank them and congratulate them profusely for the monumental angelic work they do, more so during COVID-19, a pandemic of unparalleled dimensions. COVID-19 patients take a toll on their physical, mental, emotional well-being. The physical toll is obvious and is taken care of by the administrators, the nursing heads, and the other people with as much rest as they can provide to them and the good diet. But the mental and the spiritual well-being is often overlooked in the middle of all this looking after. COVID-19 patient is different as they are not only alone in the hospital, but they don't know if they will see the next morning, the next moment, or the next month, or their child or not. At these times, nurse is the only person they cling to. They hold their hands and silently weep. The nurse at this time, another time, needs more strength, more mental ability, and more peace to deal with all this patients and their own mental well-being. They need healing vibrations all the time. We take this opportunity today and we hope to do more such meetings for a collective meditational healing to raise the pitch of high vibrations and seek the divine master's companionship in these tough times. As they say, even a word of encouragement raises the antibody level. So this collective healing, we hope, will raise the antibody levels of our nurses beyond what they need so that they never get COVID-19. We also take this opportunity to talk about one of the most important aspects to have the pandemic go down, or the pandemic get cured, or the pandemic is not there, about vaccinations in a while. Before I end, I would like to thank Mr. Shiv Kumar, our Managing Director at Indraprastha Apollo Hospital, for being always there and supportive of any good cause. I'm also grateful to our Nursing Director, Usha Banerjee, who has given her entire life, I mean the entire life, working tirelessly with extraordinary energy and administrative abilities. She's always willing to do anything, anytime for the nurses. And I speak the same for Dr. Dhirja Sharma from the Max Hospital and Miss Ravindran from the Apollo Cancer Center. I'll also like to take this opportunity to thank my co-chairperson for the Forum for Breast Cancer Protection, Dr. Colonel Pant, who is in the background, is not going to speak in the symposia today, but he's been there from the time we conceived this idea till today, and he has helped at every step in collecting funds, in organizing the whole program, and we thank him profusely. I also like to thank at this time Dr. Geeta, who is heading another NGO called Bliss Foundation from the Max Healthcare, and Dr. Bhavna Sirohi, the Apollo Cancer Center, Chennai, the Proton Cancer Center at Chennai, who is the medical lead, for their unimaginable and their commendable effort to help in this endeavor. Our thanks also go to Badries Enterprises and headed by Mr. Sham for having donated and for having helped in this endeavor. We also thank for donation of 5 lakhs by Mr. Mahendra Prasad and Mrs. Uma Mahendra Prasad of the Aristo Pharmaceutical for helping this program see the light of the day. All the professionals are important in the medical health care, but some are nobler than the others and require a special vocation, as is the case of nursing. And this is a very special day. They stand for care and compassion, but this devastating pandemic has lifted their potential to another level. As patients wage a lonely battle against COVID, these angels take care of them and shed a silent tear when they can't save them. You are the true frontliners, and we, the doctors and the other healthcare workers, are here because of you. We cannot thank you enough what you do for us so selflessly, but we wish to acknowledge you in a small way. And today is the day we like to acknowledge you and thank you. I have no words to thank you, my dear nurses, except to say that I love you. I love you from the innermost corner of my heart. And I bless you that you continue to do the unmeasurable, the monumental tasks that have been given to you at this point of time. Thank you so much. I hand over the mic to Dr. Sangeeta.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. May I now request our Managing Director of Indraprastha Apollo Hospital, Mr. P. Shiv Kumar, who by means of his sheer passion and able leadership has proved to be a beacon of hope and inspiration for everyone in Apollo family during these testing times. To say a few encouraging words. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sangeeta. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh Sarin, the youngest of the youngest surgeon, oncology surgeon in the country today. She had an episode of COVID and she refused to come to the hospital. And she said, I trust my blessings, I trust my God, and I'm going to get well at home. And she did. Hats off to you, Dr. Ramesh Sarin. Amazing, amazing strength, you bring to the team, entire team. And I'm really privileged to be here. thanks to once again the Forum for Breast Protection that you head along with Colonel Pant, a radiologist of immense repute. And thank you, sir. Thank you for being a participant, a person who's been encouraging us all the time. And I remember meeting you last time in our hospital, and really, really grateful for the great work that you bring to the table. The Bliss Foundation, once again headed by a dear friend, Dr. Geeta from Max Hospital. Amazing lady, once again, an amazing surgeon who brings great value to patients, values in terms of what actually is the right thing to do. I think amazing work once again, Dr. Geeta. Hats off to you. And Dr. Bhavna Sirohi in Apollo Proton, I think we have carved out a niche for yourself, and the way you lead the team. It's amazing. We hear great things about you, and look forward to meeting you sometime soon. I've met you once in Sister Shivani's satsang, but I think I'd like to meet you personally and then share some thoughts. Great work once again, Dr. Bhavna, for bringing so much value and so much of concern, so much of compassion to the entire world. We're talking about the nursing profession. I have Dr. Usha Banerjee, Dr. Dirja, once again a dear friend, and and Ms. Rekha from once again from Apollo Proton. Welcome to all of you. Amazing work you have done. I walked through the COVID wards a few times in the last 1.5 months, and the kind of work the nurse bring to the table, what they do to the patient is unimaginable. Whether it's day or night, whether it's a sick patient or somebody who's just needs a little bit of encouragement, I think your presence has made a great difference. You are really the angels who walk the earth, and because you walk the earth is a much better place to live. We might have lost quite a number of more people, more patients across the globe if only the nursing had not been there. And I think for any good hospital and for the welfare of patients, I think nursing is the strongest backbone, with full respects to the doctor, which they themselves will acknowledge. If we don't have good nursing care, I think the patients will not be getting better. The healer of healers, Sister Shivani, my spiritual mentor, once again. You've done several sessions to motivate all of us, to motivate me personally, to stay in the battle and survive. Sometimes it was a question of survival, but I think you made sure that we were adequately equipped to deal with the pandemic. And thankfully, I think another couple of weeks we will be seeing the end of this particular wave. And we will learn from you today as to how to avoid the third wave, which people keep returning. So I look forward to hearing from you, your words of wisdom. And thank you for being there today with us. And thank you for doing the healing session for our doctors. Sister Shivani, I have no words to thank you. Thanks a lot once again for giving me an opportunity to be here today. And hats off to all the nursing leaders, the nurses, who have done great work in the last so many years, and particularly the last 1 year. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of encouragement. I want to invite Dr. Bhavna Sirohi, who is the lead medical oncologist at Apollo Proton Cancer Center, Chennai. Dr. Bhavna will provide us with a guideline for the vaccination of our nurses and the patients who are suffering with cancer. Dr. Bhavna.
Thank you, Sangeeta ji. I truly echo Dr. Sareen and Mr. Shiv Kumar's comments regarding our nurses. We are truly blessed to be working with such amazing nurses who I always say are the engine room of a hospital. The hospital cannot run without your empathy, your compassion, your kindness. And Dr. Sareen wanted me to speak about the vaccines because we felt that we must use this opportunity, because there has been some vaccine hesitancy, and I have seen it, Dr. Sareen has seen it, and all of us have seen it, not only amongst our nursing colleagues, but some of our junior doctors and some of our patients as well. So I will just take 2 minutes because I don't want to keep you from Shivani Didi's meditation. I'm looking forward to it as well. Vaccines, we know for decades and decades that they decrease the risk of infection by training our immune system to recognize and fight the virus. Even if you've had the COVID infection, it's important to get the vaccine because that will serve as a booster dose of the vaccine. So there are a lot of complexities if which you want to talk about. You may have questions. We have a session on Monday at our support group meeting where we have 1 hour. Dr. Nareddy from Apollo Hospitals, Hyderabad, is just going to talk about vaccines and cancer. But I must urge my nursing colleagues that, you know, being a healthcare worker is a privilege, and we are truly blessed to be a healthcare worker. And we are very lucky that, you know, we have access to the vaccines. So please, I urge you that, you know, take the vaccine, whichever vaccine, wherever it is available. Just one example I will give after listening to hundreds of talks on vaccines. If 100,000 people are vaccinated, 1 is hospitalized and there are 0 deaths. But if you have 100,000 who get COVID, about 10,000 will get hospitalized and 1,500 will die. So, you know, if you prevention is predictable, the outcome is predictable, you will be protected. But if you have the disease, it's an unpredictable outcome. We don't know that. So please get yourself vaccinated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving this insight into the vaccination. And I hope that everybody would get vaccinated, because we have seen in our hospital also those who have been vaccinated, the disease just touches and goes. And it's really helpful. Thank you, ma'am. Captain Usha Banerjee is the nursing director at Apollo Group of Hospitals, who has led and nurtured thousands of nurses of Apollo across the country as a true leader and mentor. And who better than me can say this, that the mentorship and the nurturing that Captain has provided to her nurses, because I have really experienced that while I was admitted and really admire that. I would like to invite her to say a few words on this occasion.
Pranam to Sister Shivani. My gratitude to all the organizers, especially to Dr. Ramesh Sareen, to Colonel Pant, to our Managing Director, Mr. P. Shivkumar, and the rest of them who are supporting in. And my greetings to all the delegates, the nurses and their families. It's a beautiful moment today, despite being in the middle of a pandemic. It is the Nurses Week. It is the International Nurses Day. And we bring in joy and cheer to all the nurses. At the outset, I would like to pay my salutations to all the frontline workers, the doctors, the nurses, the paramedics, the technicians, the support services, and everybody who is at the front line, and of course, at the back end, supporting the cause of saving lives. I also pay homage and tribute to everyone who's laid their lives down in this pandemic. But I'm very proud to say that the nurses have risen to the true call of their duty and have risen beyond and very tall in the order in this pandemic. Doctors are always called as the demigods, and nurses were called as angels. The COVID pandemic gave these angels wings to find their way into the hearts of every patient, every family, the community, the healthcare system, to colleagues, to doctors, and of course, to the nation. And I'm glad that we say that nurses with the others have become the true Indians of the year. And I'm so proud to acknowledge, despite all my lateral degrees, I still hold on to nursing, and I get this privilege to lead the nursing contingent, which is a very large workforce, and contribute to the clinical outcomes, to the business, to the reputation, to the national rankings, and to everything that healthcare is so proud about. I must take this opportunity to thank Dr. Ramesh Sarin, who is a social reformer, a philanthropist, a great humanitarian, my personal doctor. Despite all the challenges that ma'am is facing today, she's here to organize this. Ma'am specially took care of me when I recently had COVID. And I must tell you, ma'am, you always are a great motivator and an inspiration for every single nurse. You love them like your child. Sister Shivani, I've known you personally, I've seen you personally. When I am in my down times, I just look at your picture with your hands around my shoulder, and it gives me immense peace and courage in this despair moments to continue on and on and on. And I'm so, so privileged that you reach out to many nurses here today to do a collective meditation. And I'm sure this is going to bring in hope amidst fear. We know that we are going to be there for a better tomorrow. I take this opportunity to thank each and every colleague of mine who have enabled me to lead in this trying times. Thanks to all the nurses who are tiringly, seamlessly, endlessly, resiliently, unseen, unheard, working at the battlefront. This is a moment of great hope. This is a moment of courage. This is a moment of gratitude. And I wish everyone the best of life. May God be with us, and may we be blessed by Sister Shivani's presence here for a better tomorrow. Thank you. And to Dr. Sangeeta, thank you so much for such a wonderful poem. In my entire career, I think this is one of the best poems I've ever heard, and that too from a doctor. Grateful to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to you and to all your nurses and all the nurses all over the world. Thank you so much for being there. Dr. Dheeja is also the Vice President of Medical Quality and Performance Improvement at Max Healthcare, and she's also extremely passionate about organizational management and leading the nursing team. I would request Dr. Dheeja Sharma again to say a few words and of encouragement. Dr. Dheeja.
Good afternoon. And my thanks to Dr. Sareen, Dr. Sangeeta, Shiv sir for organizing, and the other organizers for this initiative and thinking about the nurses in this time. You know, it is only providence and destiny that year 2020, WHO declared it as the year of the nurse and midwife. And how true it was proven to be. Throughout the last year, we saw it was the nursing workforce, each one of them at the front line, battling a new disease. I saw the agility with which the young girls and boys, even the older amongst my colleagues, the way they rose up to the challenge of a disease they had known nothing about. So not only did they learn everything about the disease, they also learned how to deal with the patient in their PPE. So much so that now I can say with great confidence across the world, if we ever need to train anybody about how to don and doff PPE, we just need to call on to the youngest nurse, boy or girl in the hospital, who will be the most proficient person to do. Through the year, through the last year, and through this year, I have seen each one of them diligently, sincerely, patiently, in such a hardworking way, take care of their patients. I remember so many of them walking up to me and asking, ma'am, how can we do something about the loneliness of our patients? So it's not just the medical care they were looking for. They were acutely aware of the fact that most of the patients were isolated from their loved ones, could not, as they were going through the throes of the disease and feeling through the physical pain, the girls were worried about the spiritual pain of the patient. They were worried about the mental pain and emotional pain of the patient. That touched me so much because it shows that the nurses, as Captain Banerjee had said, that it is a vocation in which they deeply and passionately feel. It's just not a healing hand, which is gives the medicine to the patient, or soothes the burrows on their forehead. It is also the healing hand which truly worries about their well-being. Therefore, again, I really want to thank all of you to think of this special healing meditation for the entire workforce. They have truly been, I know so many of my colleagues who've been away from their young children or older parents at home in the line of duty. For 3 weeks to 4 weeks, they would be totally away from all of them taking care of the patient. So it is indeed heartening that we are here together to thank all of them and also to sit together, pray and meditate for their well-being and to send peaceful vibration, as Shivanidhi says, to all of them to strengthen and pray for them. So truly thankful to all of you and also thankful to my nursing colleagues for all the goodness that they do. And in fact, I'd like to say that it is for in this year that the new logo which has come from the INC is that there is a voice nursing, a voice to lead, a vision for the future healthcare. It is again very prophetic and very true because I see the nurses leading healthcare in future more and more. It is their empowerment even in your specialty, which will lead to the patient care becoming better and more kinder and calmer. So in the end, I'd just like to give a quote from Florence Nightingale for all my nursing colleagues, for all the bravery and for all the hard work that they had put in. It is only leader Florence Nightingale who said that rather 10 times die in the surf, heralding the way to a new world, than stand idly on the shore. And it's true for each of the nurse who has bravely gone ahead in the front line, not fearing for her own safety, not fearing for the safety of her loved ones, and gone ahead and taken care of the patients in these uncertain times. Because I know all of us are aware that deep within somewhere, we did have the scare of the disease and scare of the situation. But each one of these young girls and boys, each one of them went ahead bravely and did it. So thank you so much. I salute all of you. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, Teja ma'am, for these encouraging words for the entire nursing staff here. May I now request Mrs. Rekha Ravindran, who is also a senior in charge nurse and at Apollo Proton Cancer Center, Chennai, to say encouraging words.
Namaste all. Before going into my topic, I would like to thank Dr. Bhavna Sirohi, our lead medical oncologist, for giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts. I love ma'am's fascinated approach towards patient care, and I'm really thankful to ma'am for her guidance and support and the trust she has on nurses. I would also like to thank my eminent boss, Dr. Captain Usha Banerjee. We are really fortunate to work under ma'am's guidance, and she is a true inspiration for the entire nursing fraternity. Today, I am here to speak about nursing leadership in cancer care. According to me, every nurse is a leader. Successful leaders aren't born, they are developed. So the nurse is described as a hub of the team to bring every services at the hospital to ensure the best care for her patient. Nursing leadership is all about critical thinking, actions across all the roles, practice settings and domains of nursing practice. More than ever, the need of leadership in nursing cancer care center is a paramount. It may be due to the increase in number of cancers or maybe the complexity of the disease and maybe the high demand of our patients and their families. The oncology nursing is facing a critical challenge to optimize, to meet the needs of their patients. As I told you before, every oncology nurse is a leader. Why oncology nursing leadership is essential? It is to promote high quality, equitable, safe and access cancer care to meet the health care challenge of the future. What is the key to develop a nursing leadership? is nothing but we have to identify interested people and we have to build a team who can strategically think and advance excellence in nursing care. In 2011, Oncology Nursing Society is released a document on leadership competencies, and they have divided those competencies into 5 domains. The first one is personal mastery, a continual domain of self-understanding. One should understand, one should do an internal and external assessment of themselves. They should know their weakness and strength, and they should try to strengthen their weakness. And every leader should have a vision. It is an ability to strategically look into the future, and every leader should act as a catalyst of the change. And ultimately, every leader should have knowledge and they have to apply evidence-based practices. And they should have a good interpersonal, protective interactions and positive relationships. And here comes the critical thinking. The leader should interpret, understand, act upon the relationship and processes so they can drive positive outcomes. I would like to conclude with the Japanese concept, a reason for being. If you can bring together what you love, if you can bring together what the world needs, if you can bring together what you are good at and what can be paid for, you will be energized, happy, and content in life, and you can become a great leader in your profession. Once again, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Rekhati. Thank you so much for those words. May I now invite Dr. Vanita Kapoor, who's a senior consultant radiologist at Colonel Pant's Imaging Center, and Dr. Geeta Kadyaprat, who is a senior surgical oncologist and breast oncologist at Max Healthcare, for a dialogue with Sister Shivani, which will be followed by a guided meditation session.
Thank you, Sangeeta. It's always a pleasure to be coming together in this group where there's so much of positivity, and I can almost already feel it. And I think, our nurses who are doing a yeoman job in this situation, which is completely unprecedented, but they have risen to the occasion like none else. But I'm sure when they are dealing with this situation, there are things that do bog them down at times. They find it difficult to deal with it. So we have, Sister Shivani here, who can actually make it seem simple, because we have all seen how difficult situations dissolve when Sister Shivani shares her perspective on it. So I would like to put this question to Sister Shivani from our nurses who don't get this opportunity very often to interact. And that is, these young girls and boys do very long hours of work. And sometimes at the end of it, they're completely tired out, not just physically, but mentally also, because of the kind of work that they do. And also, there is somewhere this guilt, especially in the beginning of this, in the middle of the second wave, which was kind of taken everybody by surprise, the magnitude of it and the kind of havoc that it wreaked. These girls and boys were seeing it all unfold in front of their eyes. So they, of course, probably went back with this guilt that they were not able to do enough, that they were not able to cope up with things that the way they should have. But of course, we know that there were times when nurses who were supposed to be looking after 4 or 5 or 6 patients were actually looking at double the number of patients, just because there were a lot of nurses, healthcare workers also falling ill. And these girls and boys stood in for them, did their best, but at the end of it possibly felt a bit guilty that, they were not able to measure up to the occasion. So how do we, counsel these girls and boys? Because there is no taking away from the fact that they have done their best in the given situation. So I will hand over to Dr. Vanita Kapoor for the next set of questions, and then Sister Shivani can take us through all of these.
Thank you so much. Om Shanti. Nice to be here again with you, Sister Shivani. Always a pleasure. And your presence itself is so calming that I think just seeing you, one feels much more relaxed. You know, Sister Shivani, dealing with death is never easy, and dealing with an adverse outcome is always very hard. And these are young sisters, are young girls. They're in their 20s and dealing with a body, wrapping up the body, and at the same time, there's another patient you're getting ready, whom you're giving oxygen to. How do you deal with this? How do you prepare yourself again after this to come back the next day? It's not easy, you know. You're just dealing with death, dealing with trying to give medication, and then preparing yourself to be in a positive frame of mind to hold someone's hand, coming back the next day. I want you to highlight some of this. And also, sister, I wanted to ask you that in the midst of all this, there's always the fear of self preservation. You're seeing people all over. You're seeing people all over dying. You're seeing people falling like nine pins. And you yourself know that you can fall prey to this, whatever we may say, vaccinated or whatever it is. And most of these young girls and boys are very far from home, you know. Their homes are way, way, way beyond, you know, you can't even reach home. And then you think, will I see them? Will I get even a bed in the hospital, as was the situation? These were just some of the questions that I wanted you take up, and I would be grateful if you would just take them up. Thank you, sister.
Please unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Geeta, Dr. Benita, Dr. Ramesh Sareen, Dr. Sangeeta, Brother Shiv Kumar, Colonel Pant, Dr. Banerjee. This has become like a family actually. So every time we meet together, it's not like a webinar or a program or a session. It's more like a family meeting together. And if it doesn't happen for a few weeks or a month, then it's like, oh, we haven't met for a very long time, like we would meet family and relatives and friends. And yes, we've met today for meditation, but I think since 4 o'clock, every word that I was listening to, starting from that beautiful poem that Dr. Sangeeta shared with all of us, literally for the last 45 minutes, we've been meditating, because meditation means where we are creating very high vibrational, positive, pure, divine words. But every word we have heard today, it's not a word of a normal vocabulary. It's a word filled with purity, power, and love. And really, it's not words of appreciation. They're words of blessings, blessings coming from the heart of every soul. But yes, as all our little angels here, they're little, no, when we look at them, when you say they are 20, 25, they are those little angels that are there, but who are earning so many blessings. At the same time, like Dr. Geeta and Dr. Vanita shared, there are certain tough times. I am interacting with a lot of people who are at home, safe and secure. COVID has not even crossed their doors yet. There's nothing in their house. Everything is perfect. And yet you can't imagine how much panic they are creating, even just being at home, safe and secure. And if you ask them, what are you getting scared? You don't even have an issue at home right now. बहुत डर लग रहा है, बहुत डर लग रहा है, क्या होगा, क्या होगा? We are receiving emails of people saying, if I die, who will look after my children? And then you ask them, why is there something wrong? Say, no, nothing is wrong, but if I die, you know, that's the impact of this current situation on people sitting at home with no issue at home at all. So when we look at our nurses, our doctors, and all our healthcare professionals, we look at them and we sometimes think, what are you all made of exactly? How do you manage to be who you are? And not just in what you're doing, but in who you are being, because doing and being is different. Doing is a part of our training, but being is a part of who I am. So this year, every year, of course, the being is connected with the doing. But this year, I think the being was more important than the doing. The doing was still in the learning process. Should we do this? Should we do that? There was so much uncertainty there. But it was the being who was very clear. And that's coming specially for the nurses, because they are the ones who are spending the maximum time. And this year, the nurses were not nurses, they were family. They were family, they were friends. They always are, but this year it was different. So, yes, when we look at all the tough scenes that we have to see, like you shared, the bodies and the wrapping up, yes, they are very difficult scenes. But how is it that someone is being able to manage all these difficult scenes, and yet we there the next morning with not just that beautiful smile, but that compassion radiating from them. So it's not the smile just on the face, it's the vibration. How is the person able to do that? It's because throughout the day, there's one thing, an invisible energy that they are earning constantly, and that is the energy of blessings, which all sisters and all doctors earn always, but we know this year was different. This year is even more different. So when a soul earns so many blessings and so many blessings, yes, there is a tougher side, but this side is bigger than this side. So this we always have to remember. And that's why they get the strength to be back there, not just the next morning, but the next moment, which means you shift from one bed to the next bed and you're ready with that same energy, that same vibrance. It's not possible. This is not easy. You go and tell somebody outside to be able to do this, and they cannot do it. Even if you detach from your role and you look at yourself and you will say, how did I do it? How was I able to do it? That I just managed one death on one bed and then I went to the next one and they were crying and I was, being able to talk to them and then get them back to smiling and happy. How was I able to do it? How come I was not crying about what happened here? How was I able to make this person happy just within 5 minutes? What do I have that is making me able to do that? And that is the power of blessings. This is not a human capacity. This doesn't happen in any human capacity, but this is the capacity of blessings of God, blessings of every person who is being healed, and right now, this year, blessings of the entire country and the world. You have no idea how much people are praying for each one of you, how much people are meditating every day, even though they don't have COVID, even though they're not admitted in the hospital, but they understand. So who gets people like this all over the country whom they don't know and they're praying and meditating for them? I am seeing at the Brahma Kumaris, and I'm sure it must be happening every year. Every single day, every morning and every evening at 6:30, millions of us come together and we're just doing meditation. And during that meditation, it's of course the ones who are getting healed, but it's also the ones who are healing. So we are meditating for people we don't know, but we know that that meditation, that power is reaching each one. And so is the entire country. So whenever we feel a little low, we need to remind ourselves, I have this invisible source. It's like when people are rich, they don't worry about anything. They know whatever problem in their life, they'll be able to cross it because they have lot of wealth, they have lot of contacts. Similarly, sisters are rich in blessings, and blessings can create miracles which all the wealth, resources, and contacts cannot do. We are seeing now, right now, aren't we going through times where all the wealth and resources of people is not able to get a solution for them? So blessings is that energy. It's the highest energy. It's the highest energy that we are earning right now. So we need to remind ourselves every day, and we need to remind we are not sisters. We are not just nurses. We are God's angels, not just angels. We are God's angels. We are God's instrument. So yes, physically we get very tired, naturally, understandable. Emotionally also we get drained. But then what are the little things that we can do which will be like a little nourishment for my mind on a daily basis? Maybe you don't need it because again that blessings is the nourishment, but still some very little things so that we are able to nourish our mind on a daily basis. If we can start adding that from today, because like we understood now, this might take another 1 or 2 months and we don't know what's in store after that. So why not start nourishing ourselves on a daily basis from today? Just 10 minutes. 10 minutes of our time we need, because throughout the day we are seeing extreme visuals you are seeing. So we need to spend at least 10 minutes every morning. If you don't have 10 minutes, don't worry, 5 minutes. But this 5 minutes we definitely will give to ourselves. 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the night before going to sleep. The most important time is when we just are about to go to sleep. What happens is, because we've had a very long day, we are extremely tired, we're literally falling off. We could fall off immediately and go off to sleep. So when we just go to sleep like that, without cleaning all that has happened here, so then everything we experienced during the day and everything that got recorded here, uh, whether it's the death, whether it's somebody being breathless, whether it's somebody not getting help, everything is a scene, it's a visual. And this visual and the voices, they all get recorded here. This is a part of our role and we're trained to handle it. But one little thing that we need to do is, before we go to sleep, we will need to release these visuals from here. We cannot or should not take them to bed, because whatever visual and audio gets recorded here, if I take it to bed and I go to sleep with it, then that doesn't remain here. It goes deeper into the subconscious. And when that goes deeper into the subconscious, and then it happens on a daily basis, not just once in a while, but on a daily basis for a couple of months, for almost a year, it's then that I start experiencing a little pain in the sense, a little low feeling, a little fatigue emotionally, because it's not getting cleaned from here. It has to get released. That's a part of our role. Like mask, like washing, like sanitizing. Sanitizing here is very important, because we're not just going to protect ourselves from the virus, we have to also protect ourselves from the vibration of pain, the vibration of fear, the vibration of loneliness is all around us. People sitting at home are getting affected by that vibration. So we need to sanitize our mind. So just one simple habit: just before you go to sleep, connect to the divine power and please say it and surrender everything that happened during the day. You need to say it out, whether you write it out like your diary or you just speak it out to God. But you need to say it and surrender it over there, not take it as your personal responsibility. Responsibility was during the day. Yes, it was during the day, which was played accurately. But that guilt, that little feeling of helplessness, most of us are feeling, because most of us are not able to do everything that we want to do for people around us. But we need to remember that the situation is different. So what we need to do is, when we are able to help someone, we don't take the credit of it and we put it up there and we say, thank you, God, for making me an instrument for this. It was you who got it done. So similarly, when we are not able to do something or not able to save or help someone, again, we have to surrender it there. So the surrender has to happen in both the times, not just when some things not went well, but also when they went well. We are not going to say we were able to save someone. No, no, no. It's God's power, that soul's karma, their destiny, their beautiful role. And when someone we are not able to save, again, we need to remember the soul and their destiny is walking hand in hand. Everybody together in the ICU or in the hospital would have put in all their efforts, but are sometimes not able to save someone. It is the soul and their destiny walking hand in hand. We cannot take responsibility of it. We cannot say we were not able to save. Please never say that to yourself. It's not being nice to the human mind. Never say, I was not able to do anything for them. I put in my best. I have to keep my conscience very clear. I did in more than my best, more than my capacity, and the rest I surrender up there. I say up there. I cannot say. But for that, I also need to do it when things go right. So when things go right also, we surrender. Thank you, God, for taking care of them. And thank you for making me an instrument in being a part of this. I am your instrument. You are using me. Here, you are using me like this. And that's why the world calls me your angel. The world calls me your angel. So I am your angel. You're just getting it done. I'm like your puppet here. So surrender when things go very smooth, perfect. Even if the doctors are appreciating you for it and saying, great, you made this happen. Even if the patient is appreciating you and saying, thank you, sister, you made it happen. Don't consume the appreciation, which means don't start feeling, yes, I was able to make it happen, which you don't, because you are so beautiful, so pure and humble. Humility is your asset every time. It's visible in every sister. But don't let the mind say, yes, I was able to make it happen. Any mind who accepts that I was able to make it happen feels very low when something is not able to happen. So that's the pendulum, has to be in the center. If the pendulum accepts that I was able to do something right, then the pendulum will also feel I was not able to do something right. So the pendulum goes from here to here. This is the time to be centered, and to be a detached observer. A detached observer means the one who is there to care, but does not get entangled with the energies and the vibrations around. You are going to be an angel. What do angels do? The angels fly in, give, and fly out. They don't take. Angels never take anything from anyone. Angels only give. That's why they are called angels, because they only give. They don't take. So don't take meaning we will not consume the energy of anyone. We will only connect to the supreme power and give and give and give. Now to be able to do that, just when something happens, beautiful, and once in a while, not the right scene. In both the cases, I have to surrender it up there. Do not ever record here that I am responsible for something or I could have done something more. No, please don't do this for yourself, because this over a period of time will otherwise start troubling us. It will start troubling us. In their lifetime, if people make one mistake, they carry their guilt for a lifetime. So we can never call this our mistake or my thing, my thing. No, no, no. We are instrument there, not mine and I for anything. So it is not going to get recorded like this on the soul that I was not able to do it. I was very clean and clear that I am the instrument and I am doing everything to the more than the best of my capacity. And the rest is between them and him. No personal responsibility for that. So this is what we've always learned in spirituality. Do your karma, but don't get attached to the outcome of the karma. Don't get attached to the outcome of the karma. So in the night before sleeping, please just give 5 minutes before sleeping. It's very important right now. You cannot go to sleep with all those emotions and those visuals recorded there. And the best would be to write it out. Because when we are so tired, if we sit in silence and try to think, we'll fall off to sleep. So the best is just to write it out. So anything that happened not very right during the day, write it out. Just write it out. God, today this happened. You're telling him there, it's for him to know what to do. And God, today this very beautiful thing happened, this so and so. And for both, thank you to you. Because even for the one which did not happen right, but you chose me to be a part of their healing. And most important, you know what God chose you for? God chose you to be there to give the soul their final farewell, which a family is supposed to do always. You held their hand. You gave that love, that feeling of family to that soul before the soul just left. This is a beautiful karma. This is a very, very beautiful karma, to be able to say the final goodbye, to be able to hold the hand, to be able to be there for someone when no one was around them. Beautiful karma. Beautiful. Thank God even for that every day. Gratitude even for that, for making me an instrument to be there that time with them, so that the next journey of the soul will be very beautiful. They were not alone. The world keeps thinking they were alone. They were not alone. Even the family sometimes thinks they were alone, but they were not alone. God, you chose me to stand there with them. That's why they are calling you God's angel. That's why you are God's angel. So even in that scene, which was absolutely not right, your role to be there was beautiful, was beautiful. And that soul who has left the body and moved forward has taken you here as their last impression, their last impression. And that is unlimited blessings from you. Unlimited blessing. So even in the scene you feel where everything went wrong, even that was a very beautiful scene for that soul. So when that scene is happening, and I'm sure the doctors and all of you are trying to revive that patient, please remember, one person needs to remember that time. That let everybody try to revive that patient. One person needs to just focus on the soul and radiate that power, because for the soul, sometimes that's the last moment. And the last moment before leaving the body is very important, not for this life, but for the future of that soul. The soul needs to leave remembering that someone was with me. Someone was with me. The soul should not leave believing nobody was there with me. Because then, somewhere, 1 year later, a child will be born, and 3-4 years later, that child feels insecure, a child feels fear, child feels nobody's there with me because of the way they left the body. So our angels are playing that beautiful role to just be there as family with all that love, unconditional love, selfless love. You know, sometimes even when families are there with their members leaving, it's not very selfless. It's not very selfless. Why? Because the family is thinking about themselves. What will happen to me when they go away? This is not very selfless actually, because we're thinking about ourselves. What will happen to me when my family member goes away? But when a sister, when a nurse, when an angel is with them, she's not thinking about herself. She's only thinking about them. This is the highest level of selfless love, care, and compassion those souls are getting while they are moving forward on the journey. So in every scene, look at the purity of the scene. Look at the compassion and the angelic divine vibration in the scene. And let's record only that here. Let's only record that here. And in the night, if there was something which got recorded which was a little disturbing, we will need to heal it before going to sleep. We will just not take it to bed. That is one little gift we have to give ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves, that we will not take pain to bed. We will not take pain to bed. We will write it out just before going to sleep. Surrender, relax, clean, and go to bed. And the angel is going to be ready tomorrow morning for God's task. The angel is going to be ready. And just let's write few affirmations today, which you can do every day, even if you're absolutely tired and you just even don't even feel like sitting for 1 minute, but just 10 seconds. We'll write few words, which you're just going to say them as you are falling off to sleep, and which you're going to say just when you wake up. Just little, 10-20 seconds, nothing more than that. So just write them down now, and then just keep them with you on the phone, and then just say them in the night before sleeping today, and just in the morning when you wake up. I am a divine being. I'm a divine being. Why we're going to say all this? So that this will get recorded as the last thought. Irrespective of how much trauma got recorded here during the day, we're going to change this recording just before we sleep. I am a divine being. I am God's chosen angel. I am a giver. I radiate God's love, God's power to everyone, not just to patients, to everyone. To everyone means to families, to doctors, to everybody around me, to sisters around me, to everyone. I'm a radiator. I radiate God's love, God's power to everyone. So 3 affirmations. I'm a divine being. I'm God's chosen angel. I radiate God's power and blessings to everyone. 4th, my body is perfect and healthy and will always be. My body is perfect and healthy and will always be. We know the reality. No, COVID is there. We know it can happen to us, but it can happen to us even sitting at home. It's happening without meeting anyone, without going out. So instead of it happening sitting at home, it's okay if it happens while being there out there on Seva for so many people. The amount of blessings we earn, that COVID will only come and go away. It won't be able to do anything to us. So my body is perfect and healthy and will always be. Now, you've all learned how to wear that PPE kit, and we just heard Dr. Dheerja saying that they can teach it to anyone. Now, there's one more kit that we need to wear. One is a PPE kit which protects us physically from the virus, and one is a divine shield of protection which protects us from the vibration around us. So our fifth affirmation, God's power and blessings, which means the divine energy, is a circle of protection around me. Draw this every day. You have to draw it every day. Just close your eyes or keep your eyes open and draw a divine light circle energy around you. God's power and blessings is a circle of protection around me. When we draw this circle of protection, lower vibrational energy cannot come inside this. Like virus cannot come inside the PPE kit, lower vibrational energy cannot come into a higher vibrational circle. But from you, higher vibrational energy will go to everybody. So you're not just treating the body, you're not just looking after people, but you're radiating divine power to everybody. It's going to heal their minds. It's going to keep them calm and positive. So God's power and blessings is a divine circle of protection around me. Now draw this circle around your family. Very important. We don't want to create any thought that what if it happens to my family? So God's power and the unlimited blessings I earn is a circle of protection around my family. We are all safe. We are secure. We have to say this every day. We are safe and we are secure. And last thought, surrender. I am your instrument and use me tomorrow. Use me tomorrow in every way that you want to use me. Detached from the outcome, instrument, surrender. So just before sleeping, just say this as a little prayer. So these affirmations, these thoughts will start getting recorded into your subconscious. I'm a divine being. I'm God's chosen angel. I'm a giver. My body is perfect and healthy and will always be. And the divine circle of protection is around me. And it is around my family. And we are safe and we are secure always. And then last, I am your instrument. Use me tomorrow for everything that you want me to do. You want me to do. I am your instrument. Just say these thoughts, repeat them, and fall off to sleep. If these are the thoughts just before you go to sleep, then the next 6-7 hours while you're sleeping, this will get programmed into the subconscious, and everything that happened during the day will get released because you have replaced it with the highest energy thoughts in the night just before going to sleep. And then when you wake up in the morning, 10 seconds more to say this once again. So just twice, once before sleeping and once first thing in the morning, just say them once again. During the day, when there's so much to do and you're feeling a little tired, just say it once again. And to make it even stronger, just say it just before your meals. I know you hardly get time to eat and you literally have to run and eat, but still, like you won't eat without washing your hands, na? Don't eat in the hospital without saying this. Just take 2 seconds and say it quickly, because the food is surrounded also by a lot of pain energy in a hospital. So we have to energize our food and water. So just 2-3 seconds, that's all that you need to do. That's all, to keep your vibration very high. Vibration very high. 10 seconds in the morning, 10 seconds in the night, and 2-3 seconds before every meal, every glass of water, every cup of tea or coffee. That's all. This is even lesser than the 20 seconds hand wash. We don't need 20 seconds for the mind. We need only 10 seconds for the mind. But 10 seconds in the morning, 10 seconds in the night. And while you're traveling to the hospital, to and fro, morning and evening, keep something very positive with you in terms of what to watch or read. On your phone, choose it. This time has to be used well so that we consume, we read, watch, or listen something which is very pure or positive. Whatever you choose, a book, a video, scriptures, spiritual study, whatever. This is nutrition for the mind. Just do it only while you're traveling. So no extra time. Only while you're traveling. And that's it. That's it. There's not going to be any burnout, no fatigue, nothing. Angels don't get tired. They can get physically tired because the body is not of an angel. No? The body is a human body, but the mind is angelic. And so the mind will never get tired, even if the body gets fatigued, because we will keep the mind at that highest vibration. So let's do it together right now. And then you do it once tonight before going to sleep, and then tomorrow morning. So let's sit back straight. Everyone just sit straight, comfortable. We will create a few thoughts right now. And let's all create that thought inside and visualize it. Meditation means we also visualize the thought that we are creating. As we create the thought and we visualize it, it's an energy, it's a vibration which will radiate from us to those who it is being created for. Because energy doesn't stay here, energy travels. So as we create the thought and we visualize it, you see that it's going to radiate from you to those we are creating it for. Just breathe in and breathe out 3 times and relax your body. And now just come to the center of the forehead and visualize here a tiny point of light. That's the life, the energy. It's from here that we take care of this entire body. So look at that little beautiful tiny point of light, star shining in the center of the forehead. I am a divine being. Divinity, purity. It's my personality. My every thought, my every feeling, every word and behavior is divine. I am God's angel. The lighthouse and the might house for everyone. Visualize yourself in your hospital, God's angel in the hospital. Gently moving from one to the next, one room to the next, one bed to the next, like an angel, radiating God's love and power to all. My vibrations of divinity are healing energy for everyone. I can be a sister to someone, a daughter to another, and a mother to someone. It's the purity in me which connects to each one and heals their mind. God is using me to give power to the mind and health to their bodies. This is my fortune. It's my fortune to be used by Him. It's my fortune to be able to heal minds. I am His instrument. Everything that happens perfect today, I was His instrument. I surrender to Him all the appreciation, all the praise I got today during the day. I surrender to Him. I am His instrument. And for that which did not go right, I was there as family. I was the chosen one to give them that loving goodbye. I was the chosen one to send them on their new journey with blessings. Selfless love. I was the chosen instrument. This is my fortune, and these are my blessings. And these blessings are my protection. They are my protection. I'm not alone. I have a huge family. And the blessings I earn from this big family and the family of all these families, these blessings protect my family. These blessings protect them in a way which no one else can. Thank you to my role for allowing me to be there, selflessly and tirelessly. I am His angel. My body is perfect and healthy and will always be. Perfect and healthy and will always be. And now let's wear our high vibrational kit. God's power and blessings, that white divine circle around us. See yourself enveloped with that energy. I am protected with the divine energy. And so is my family. We are safe and secure always. Everything that I have been a part of in the last 2 months, I surrender. I understand it's their destiny. I did every karma accurately, and the rest I surrender to their destiny. I was only an instrument. God's power and blessings, divine energy around the entire planet. Please see that divine circle of protection around the world. My world is safe, secure. Om Shanti.
एक दिया आओ दुआ का हम जलाएं, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाएं।
ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति।
एक दिया आओ दुआ का हम जलाएं, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाएं। हर दिशा हर द्वार पर हो वो दिवाली, हर दिशा हर द्वार पर हो वो दिवाली। प्यार का हम ऐसा सिलसिला चलाएं,
प्यार का सिलसिला हम चलाएं।
एक दिया दुआ का हम जलाएं, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाएं। जो आंधियों से लड़ता है, तू दाता का दिया क्यों मुश्किलों से डरता है। दिया वो माटी का जो आंधियों से लड़ता है, तू दाता का दिया क्यों मुश्किलों से डरता है। ऐसे ख्यालों से जहां को जगमगाए,
ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति।
ऐसे ख्यालों से जहां को जगमगाए, प्यार का हम ऐसा सिलसिला चलाएं,
प्यार का सिलसिला हम चलाएं।
एक दिया दुआ का हम जलाएं, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाएं। आंधियों से लड़ते दियों को बचा ले हम, उम्मीद के दियों को जलते दियों को बचा ले हम, उम्मीद के दियों को फिर से जला ले हम। आस की विश्वास की ज्योति जगाए,
ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति।
आस की विश्वास की ज्योति जगाए, प्यार का हम ऐसा सिलसिला चलाए,
प्यार का सिलसिला हम चलाए।
एक दिया दुआ का हम जलाए, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाए। सभी के वास्ते, रहम खुदा का हो मिलने कियों के रास्ते। हो उजाला मयस्सर सभी के वास्ते, रहम खुदा का हो मिलने कियों के रास्ते। हम खुदाए नूर का दरिया बहाए,
ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति।
हम खुदाए नूर का दरिया बहाए, प्यार का हम ऐसा सिलसिला चलाए,
प्यार का सिलसिला हम चलाए।
एक दिया दुआ का हम जलाए, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाए। माटी के बदले दिया जलाए मन का, ज्ञान से हर कोना रोशन जीवन आंगन का। माटी के बदले दिया जलाए मन का, ज्ञान से हर कोना रोशन जीवन आंगन का। प्रभु प्रेम की लगन दिल में ऐसी लगाए,
ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति।
प्रभु प्रेम की लगन दिल में ऐसी लगाए, प्यार का हम ऐसा सिलसिला चलाए,
प्यार का सिलसिला हम चलाए।
एक दिया दुआ का हम जलाए, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाए।
एक दिया और दुआ का हम जलाए, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाए। एक दिया और दुआ का हम जलाए, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाए। एक दिया और दुआ का हम जलाए, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाए। एक दिया और दुआ का हम जलाए, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाए।
Please unmute.
Meditational healing guided by Sister Shivani. When it comes to Sister Shivani's thank you, Sister Shivani, I must tell you, my tongue gets tight, my brain, my mind gets blocked, I get dumb, thoughts don't come to me, and I don't really know what to say. So you were beyond words. I thought I knew your philosophy, but every time I hear you, it's new learning, new thoughts, always powerful teaching and powerful meditation. Without saying further, I thank you, and thank you everybody for being a part of this most beautiful collective meditational healing for the nurses. Nurses, we love you once again. We will continue to love you. Please continue to do your work and follow what Sister Shivani has said. 10 seconds morning, 10 seconds in the night. Even I forget, but I'll remember. I think we need more of them to be continued to be reminded and hammered that this is what we need to do. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for today. We'll meet soon. Thank you.
Thinking about everybody else without thinking about yourself. You're still recouping from COVID and you still are thinking about everybody else. Thank you so much from the depth of my heart. You're so energetic. God bless you, ma'am.
Colonel Pant working in the background. Huh? Colonel Pant.
Yes, and Colonel Pant, so he's the backbone of the entire forum, I must say, and Dr. Vanita and Karuna, of course, and Sapna, who's hidden. We can't see her, but she's managing the entire show seamlessly. And I must thank Didi. I have no words. I can't thank you enough. I mean, you have filled my heart. I don't have words. Thank you so much. I also thank everybody else. I want to thank Shiv Sir, Captain Usha Banerjee, Rija Ma'am, Ms. Ravindra, and Dr. Bhavna Sirohi for sharing their words of encouragement. Thank you, everybody, and we expect your continuing support in this endeavor to spread healing vibrations to the society and the entire world. Thank you so much. Thank you.